Okay, man. I think there's something that we have to talk about. You have a huge hatred for the show Scrubs.
I do.
However, I'm going to tell you the saddest episode in Scrubs history. Okay. So, starts off like any normal day. Dr. Cox and JD are working their rounds, going about their day. And then what happens? Jordan, Dr. Cox's wife, has her brother named Brendan Fraser. He's amazing. It's so fucking great. He comes in. He has cancer. It came back. Oh, really? Because a couple episodes after he's already been here. Can't beat the cancer. Came back. Didn't do any of the treatment. Brendan Fraser was a titular character this entire series. His emotion and energy he brought to the cast, to the screen, was unparalleled to any guest ever. And this episode shows it. The entire time you're going about this episode, JD and Dr. Cox are running tests. It's all over for this patient. They're trying to fix. While Brendan Fraser's there the entire time, taking pictures like he always does, playing cards, joking, because they know him and Dr. Cox are essentially brothers. The brother that Dr. Cox never had. Mm-hmm. It's the real like only few shots you see Dr. Cox being a real like human, besides being like a huge dick all the time. Right. It's the small, brief pieces of humanity you see when Brendan Fraser's character comes in. Mm-hmm. And the entire time they're working on it, and JD's running these tests, and he's doing everything Dr. Cox says, and something comes back, and it's wrong. And this patient dies. And the entire time, Dr. Cox doesn't believe JD. He's still disappointed at him. Brendan Fraser's like, hey, don't take it so hard on the kid. It's going to be okay. Everything's fine. Mm-hmm. And it's JD's beating up himself so much because he thinks that he made a mistake, and he's going back and forth, and the whole emotional toll on him, the whole emotional toll on Dr. Cox because he enjoyed this patient. Mm-hmm. It was just a really big issue. And then finally, like, Dr. Cox realized that he did everything right. Like, it wasn't. So they come to an agreement, like everything's perfectly fine. Brendan Fraser's character leaves, and he's like, don't do me a favor. They're at the episode is starting to close. They're at this. Dr. Cox is wearing a suit, and Brendan Fraser's standing next to him, and he was like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Don't be so hard on the kid. You know what it was like." He says a bunch of heartfelt shit to him, and he looks at him and he was like, "Why aren't you gonna take any of your pictures?" And then you see JD walk up. He was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, I'm gonna take pictures of screaming babies, birthday cake, Jordan drunk in the chair off too much wine. And JD says, "Where do you think we are right now?" And Dr. Cox looks back, and Brendan Fraser's character is gone. Mm. And then it turns around, it slowly pans out, and they start to walk, and you realize it's a funeral, that the cancer came back, and it really did beat his character. Oh, man. And that's what it was the entire time, because Dr. Cox couldn't believe it. Mm-hmm. And when it first aired, it won so many fucking awards for that episode. Really? The amount of emotional toll it put on people, it was incredible. This Scrubs episode made it a non-comedy. This episode made it compete with General Hospital, House, all these bigger shows that were like, we're not comedy, we're not daydreaming slapstick bullshit. We're like, yeah, but we are, and we just beat you. Mm-hmm. We know how to laugh at our pain and cry at our pain and cry at our laughter. Scrubs was such a huge show in the early 2000s that a lot of people hate, like you, because they don't really fully understand. They can't get past the first season sometimes. They can't get past some of the humor, and that it is what it is. But that episode, the awards alone shows that is not only the best Scrubs episode, but across all 9 seasons, that is easily the saddest and most important Scrubs episode. It brings every character closer together, makes every character understand why things are happening, and you can no longer escape death. Mm-hmm. Which later JD brings up in a later season, saying, yeah, we can't let death know we're afraid of it. It would eat us alive, which is a lot of times what happens to Dr. Cox and JD and certain people throughout the series, and they finally come to terms as they mature and get older, and they recall when Brendan Fraser's character was there, and it was always so fucking heartbreaking to watch that couple episodes, because I knew what was coming. Yeah. I was just like, fuck. I remember watching it for the first time and sobbed my fucking eyes out, man. Oh, it was such a great episode. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sticking here for another Reefer Recaps. This has been short and sweet, just like you. Thank you for being a great fan. I am Dougie McDoubles. This is Ray McFlurry II. Please hug your loved ones, drink plenty of water, be safe, you guys. We'll see you next one on the Reefer Recaps.